When it comes to buying running shoes, the #1 retailer isn't Running Warehouse, it isn't Fleet Feet, and it isn't Roadrunner Sports. It's Amazon. But as a shoe reviewer who buys dozens of shoes per year, I never go to Amazon to buy shoes. Am I missing out? Yo, what's going on everybody? My name is Kofuzi and I review shoes here on YouTube. And today I want to talk to you guys about shoes that I bought on Amazon. But before I do want to go over some disclosures. All of the shoes that I'm talking about today are shoes that I purchased myself. No one sent them to me. No one's paying me to put them in this video. And no one's going to get a chance to preview any of my footage or my thoughts before you guys get a chance to see this video on YouTube. So with that disclosure out of the way, let's talk about the shoes that I bought on Amazon. First up, we've got the #1 best seller on Amazon, the Under Armour Charged Assert 9. Step-in comfort was actually a nice surprise and the upper was reasonably comfortable, although overall the shoe just feels a bit bloated. The midsole of this shoe felt firm and very tall, and landing on the heel felt a bit jarring. The shoe really wanted me to land on the midfoot or forefoot only. Grip on the shoes was pretty good, even on the snow. And overall, I felt like this was a decent shoe for $40, but it felt more like a shoe I would take to the gym than it would be a shoe I'd want to actually run in. And it felt like a budget shoe that a person would buy not because they liked the shoe, but merely because they liked the price. Next up is the ASICS Gel Contend 7, the #4 bestseller and Amazon's best value for cost. And for my testing, I really wanted to make sure that temperature was as little of a factor as possible. So I came back home where all the shoes were waiting for me at room temperature before I headed out for another lap. The Gel Contend 7 felt like it had pretty much the exact same foam as the Under Armour, just less of it. And even though there was less cushion, technically, I prefer the feeling of the Gel Contend 7. This shoe has gel in the heel, and I've never been a fan of ASICS Gel, but the way that the gel makes this heel extra dense, it helped the shoe roll pretty nicely. If I were a heel striker, I might even say that I like this shoe. The cost for this is $35, and it pretty much felt like a $35 shoe. Next up was a shoe with a 4.2 out of 5-star rating with over 10,000 global reviews. It's a shoe from TIAMOU that has a product name that is basically an SEO word jumble. It doesn't use foam, but instead uses some sort of flexible, bendy plastic, and it ships and arrives in shrink wrap. When I was with my family in Florida a couple weeks ago, I saw a man dressed up as a pirate wearing a pair of these, but they were in black, and for him, the shoes seem to work, but for me, they do not. The insole has these weird pods and they poked my feet, and the shoe didn't fit my feet right at all, and everything just felt heavy and baggy and cheap. Please do not get these or let any of your friends or kids get these. Now it was time to stop letting Amazon take the wheel, and I chose a shoe for myself. I picked out an old favorite, the Epic React 2. It was a welcome relief from the other shoes I tried, but I didn't exactly feel like how I remembered the shoe from when I ran in it when it came out several years ago. Now, that difference could just be nostalgia, but I can't help but wondering if I got a fake. This is the box that my Epic React came in, and even though I bought this on Amazon, the seller wasn't Nike. It was a third-party seller, and when my shoes didn't look like they were used, and they looked like they were actual legitimate Epic React 2s, it didn't really feel like a new shoe, and it didn't really feel like how I remember the Epic React 2 feeling. Now, I'm not saying this shoe didn't feel good to run in. It's a good shoe. It's just not what I remembered. And I got this shoe for $90, which is a substantial discount from the original $150 retail price. But they still sell this shoe on the Nike website, and they have it in a lot of sizes still available at a discount at $105 from Nike directly. And I think that ultimately it's going to be worth paying that extra premium to get it directly from Nike to have assurances that you're getting a real shoe that's not a fake and that hasn't been used. Now, the ultimate question for me is Amazon a bad place to buy shoes? And I'd say the answer to that is no. I think lots of people buy shoes on Amazon, and I think overall the concept of that is fine. I don't have a problem conceptually with buying shoes on Amazon. I just think that there's a lot of things that Amazon does or doesn't do that makes buying shoes there a potentially confusing and misleading place. One of the things that I would say is stick to official company stores. Ultra has a company store on Amazon, Brooks and Adidas, they all have company stores on Amazon. But even there, you have to be careful because Amazon kind of will take you down a rabbit hole really quickly. Even on the company stores that I believe the brands have some control over, you very quickly go from actual regular running shoes to like casual and walking shoes and run inspired casual shoes. So you might be trying to buy like a real running shoe, and instead what you're getting is like a budget model that doesn't actually have very many good running features at all. The other thing about buying shoes on Amazon is that I think that it's something that appeals to people who aren't so familiar with running. I really feel like it's something that only should be done by people that know what they're looking for. And that's because on Amazon, the listings are just like really crazy and wild. So for example, the Nike Epic React 2 that I bought about a month, or maybe 2 months ago at this point, now when I click on the link to that original listing, the name isn't Nike Epic React 2 anymore. Instead, the title of the listing is like Nike Trail Running Shoes. Now the Epic React 2 is very, very far from being a trail shoe. Plus, within that listing, there's also other shoes that are very clearly neither trail shoes nor Epic React. So you've got like a mishmash of shoes all within the same like product listing. Now, I think that's not something Amazon's doing on purpose, but rather I think it's something that third-party sellers can manipulate the title of their product, just like I can manipulate the title and thumbnail of a YouTube video. Like I can publish it and then even later I can go change that information. I think that's what's happening. Plus, I think even other third parties still can come in and be like, oh, I also have a Epic React 2 or I have a Nike trail running shoe that I want to put into this product listing because I know it's getting a lot of views. So there's just a mishmash of stuff. And again, if you don't know what you're looking for, it's very easy to click from one shoe to another thinking that they're all the same. And then like, boom, you bought a shoe that's not actually intended for running at all. And then the last thing that I would say you're gonna have to be careful for is those kind of like third-party sellers. Now, I'm not saying that third-party selling is bad. I'm not saying that all third-party sellers on Amazon are bad, but I just don't think that like Amazon has like a lot of like discipline or like oversight into what's going on in this space. And so you get stuff like people getting shoes that they think have been used or worn before. And that's something that you see lots of pictures of. If you go down to the comments and search for the word dirty, you'll find like in most shoe listings, there's people that have gotten shoes that are like very clearly old shoes. So that's something that you have to be careful for. And I'm also just concerned when I'm looking for a very popular shoe, especially one that might be a couple years old, that I'm going to be getting a fake or one that just hasn't been stored or taken care of properly. And so the performance of that shoe might be degraded from what it originally was. The thing about those third-party sellers though, is that Amazon, and here's where I feel like Amazon is at fault, isn't clear at all. And it almost feels like they're intentionally hiding the fact that third-party sellers exist on their site. When you're looking at a shoe to buy it, there's no indication that it's coming from either, say, Brooks or from a third-party seller. But once you put that shoe into your cart, then it'll tell you whether it is or it isn't being shipped by Amazon itself. And so if you have any other questions, feel free to put them in the comments down below, or better yet, stop by the live stream that I do Monday through Friday right here on YouTube. I'd love to talk to you guys in the chat. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for making it all the way to the end of this video. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there on your runs, and I will see you in the next one.
Yo, what's going on?